Today's guest is a man whose journey has taken him from the lowest places to living fully for Christ. He's a deep thinker, a bold leader, and someone who isn't afraid to have those hard conversations. He's a voice for truth, a student of the word, and someone I have the honor of doing ministry with. You might know his channel as Holy Conversations, but today you'll get to know the man behind it. Welcome to the show, my brother, Kenneth Ortiz.
My boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I know, dude, it feels weird when I back up on here and like my feet are dangling. Yeah, bro, that's the worst. I got to get used to it.
Everybody, thank y'all for tapping in. You are here at The Authentic Podcast again with the one and only Kenneth Ortiz. Melon, special guest, man. Seriously, we've James and I have known this man for over a decade, right? I mean, definitely over a decade. More than that. And so, Kenneth, for the viewers out there, we always like to start off this podcast, brother, like just giving a high level overview of you, bro. Kind of give us a little bit more insight on who Ken is, and we'll let you take it from there, brother.
All right. I think mostly just a follower of Christ. I think that's my identity. I think somewhere along the way I lost my identity at a young age, right? And I didn't know who I was, but I think finding Christ and understanding my identity in that is definitely who I am.
For sure.
Right. But you want to start off like childhood?
Yeah, man. I wanna definitely start off with young Ken, man, and kind of get into that. If you're okay with that, man, I want to hear about young Ken, and we'll jump into the rest.
See, I want to hear about prison, Ken, but
Oh yeah.
But-
We gotta look it up.
Okay,
This is
okay.
this is gonna get into.
all right.
I think I was always destined for prison.
Dang, bro.
No.
That was part of the journey.
Definitely some that kid's gonna go to prison. And
That's crazy.
no, I was definitely a troubled kid. I think, and I think different things contributed to that. One of them is not having a biological father and finding that out at an early age, around 4 or 5 years old. That the man that was raising me was not my biological father, and I think that created a little bit of an identity issue. Um, so I was a little confused and angry a lot of times, I think, towards different situations. And I was always in trouble at school at an early age. But I think how I met you, Dylan, was I think I was born on the south side of town. I lived there till I was about 12 years old. So a lot of that culture kind of shaped who I am in some kind of way. But then I moved to the north side of town. It was kind of like a culture shock for me,
sure.
right? You from the south side of town, it's mostly Hispanic. You rarely see other races when you go to school, right? And then you get to the north side of town, it's like a melting pot of everything, different races. This is a military city, so a lot of people from different areas, and getting to know that and adjusting at that level. But when I met you, Dylan, basketball was a real big thing in my life, and it was kind of an escape that I used. I was always outside, always had a ball in my hand. So that was one of the things that I used whenever my mind was going in different directions and I had those kind of issues at a young age, that it was kind of my escape, right? But also I think when I was introduced to things at an early age that caused me to grow up real fast, right? And I think it robbed me of my childhood, some of the things that I was witnessing, some of the things that I was introduced to at an early age, right? Um, so it was I enjoyed basketball and I used that as an escape, but then I started gravitating towards things that were not so good for me, right?
Yeah.
Drugs at an early age. I'm talking 12 years old, 13 years old, smoking, drinking at 15, and that was a part of my life up until I got incarcerated. So we're talking like 15, we're talking like, I don't know, 15 years around. And I would use that as an escape. So instead of basketball, I turned to drugs and alcohol. So now it was like numbing pain, numbing things that I would go to. And it started becoming like, they say our body has neurological pathways, right? So if I was in trouble, I'd go to drugs and alcohol. If I was happy, I go to drugs and alcohol. And it created this neurological pathway that I would just run to that for comfort, right? It wasn't even so much that it felt good. Like, man, when I tell you, and I think a lot of the people I hung around too didn't help. Not to blame them, but myself for putting myself in those situations. Man, I've been around enough drugs to kill a herd of elephants. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
and
real.
it's just, being through those situations, though, I think that it's really humbled me and it shaped me in a way that I'm able to show people in those positions grace, right? My wife tells me a lot. She's like, I don't understand addiction. I don't understand. Why don't they just stop, right? But being in those kind of situations gives me a chance to show people like that grace, right?
Yeah.
Because I've been through those kind of different situations. Um, so then fast forward to the incarceration part.
Locked up, they won't let me
You
in.
know what I mean? That
My bad.
became a real thing, right?
Yeah.
That's a I don't I think out of all the friends I had, I was the last one you would think would get incarcerated, you know. But I was definitely out there. In terms of drugs and alcohol, I was using the most out of all my friends. And I was definitely in a dark place, identity wise. Like I said, I didn't know who I was. Being a father, to sit here and tell you, like, we could say all the good things, right? Like, I found my identity in Christ, and I'm doing this, and we got, the Bible says going on, we got
Yeah.
this, we got this, but it's before that, like, to sit here and say, like, I've always been a good father, or I'd be telling a lie,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's what really needs to be highlighted, because that is where God pulled me from.
Yeah.
Right? And
100%.
those are that's the supernatural. Like, people want, like, oh, I want a miracle. Like, I want to see Jesus walk on water. I need to see.
I want to see you turn water to wine. Yeah.
Bro. And
Yeah.
I think the transformation is really the supernatural part. And when you see it for yourself, is because then you could be like, man, I changed and I did this. But in my mind, because I'm stuck in a certain way, I'm like, he didn't change. Like, there ain't no way. Like, or you could be like, oh, I quit doing this. I'll be in the back of my mind, I could be like, man, he probably still, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
fine and this and that. But whenever you witness it for yourself firsthand, those desires fall off with
Yeah.
pursuing God, those things that then you start understanding, like, that's the supernatural.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
and then you start understanding that he could do that for anybody if he
For
could
sure.
for me, right? So let's get to the prison part. What you
Yeah.
I mean,
But wait, before we get there, because that's the good part. So, there's a couple things that you touched on that I wanted to ask about and also can relate to, right? I grew up I was on the other side of kind of what you were talking about. Like, you were around drugs and alcohol at such a young age, and I was too, but on the other realm of it. I grew up going to Narcotics Anonymous meetings because my mom and dad were addicts, And so thank God that they got clean before I was born and became mentors and what do they call them? Sponsors. They call them sponsors. And so they were sponsors for these young sponsees that were trying to get out of, addiction and drugs and alcohol and all this. And so growing up, going to those meetings, seeing these people actually struggling and just growing up with that gave me that outlet to as I got older to give grace and understand the battle of addiction and that it's a daily battle, right? It's not just some people have those addictive personalities where they just need something, and when they find drugs or alcohol, that's their need. And so just putting it down and walking away for me might be easy, but for them it's almost impossible, right? Because that's a part of their identity. That's something that they feel like they truly need. So I can relate to you as far as that sense goes and giving grace when it comes to the battle of addiction.
And also, bro, like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think we've all been through like some form of addiction, looking for that dopamine, right?
Yeah.
And you said a couple things, and what's interesting is we all actually went to, like, we were in the same pocket, in that melting pot, right? Like in the middle school, all this stuff.
Well, you talked about us knowing Kenneth, bro. I had just met Kenneth a little over a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't through. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I thought you've known him for a minute.
No.
Bro, see, that's the crazy part.
No.
That's how God works. Yeah, that.
We were in prison together. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Like,
Oh.
But I was gonna say, like, the area that we were in, especially during our time growing up, like, being in a gang and stuff was a cool thing to do.
Mm.
It was,
unit was,
you know,
popping.
yeah.
Yeah, for real.
But it was also like it was still segregated in a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Which was crazy to think about. I mean, I remember in middle school, like people had guns in their lockers. They'd be like, "Yo, go check out this nine real quick." I'm like, "Dang, bro, okay, what's up?" Like that's cool, I guess, right? Fighting was cool and all that stuff. But
10 seconds.
yeah,
10 seconds is crazy, bro.
man, you know what I mean? And it was a cool thing to do. But you brought up something about your biological. Is he still your stepdad? Is he still around? I mean, so is that's dad?
Right. Yeah.
That's
So
dad.
I was blessed to, and see, you don't, a lot of times when you're a kid, you don't recognize these things till hindsight. And I had a father since I was 1 years old that raised me, and I consider him my father. Then I have another, him and my mom separated when I was about 7, 8, and she got with somebody else, and she's with him since then. So I consider him my stepfather.
Gotcha.
So, but I think that what God was showing me in that I couldn't see at the time because I was just so running to different things for comfort was the choice to love, right? When you have somebody that comes in and chooses to love you, like you've had a stepfather too.
Yeah, bro.
It hits different.
Yeah.
And you start understanding that when you have free will, you start understanding why you have free will. That choice to love, what would it be if it wasn't a choice?
Yeah.
How much it means to choose that more, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that once I started figuring that out about, my stepfather or my stepfathers don't have to be here.
Yeah.
They have no biological ties to me, but the fact that they are and they're taking the time, like I was a knucklehead
Yeah.
for them to, and my stepfather, man, he had to sit down and talk to me, never put his hands on me, bro. I mean, I don't know how. Like I feel like, yeah, I would have put my hands on this kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to, I don't put my hands on my kids, but it's just once you start seeing that, you can appreciate it, the love. You know what I mean? To have that, they chose that.
Yeah.
Man. Were they big into faith?
My stepfather, we went to church. That's another thing. I around, I think from around 12 years old, we had on and off. Cornerstone was our church.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
he was a believer, definitely. But I think, I don't know how to explain this. For certain people, when you're used to living your life a certain way, and not to take anything away from him, like he's a good man, bro. Like I could say that, but I think when you're so used to certain people, you're so used to living your life a certain way, belief looks different. And not to say that God can't change anybody or anything like that, but for certain people, what Christianity is looks different. Their relationship with God looks different. For me, I'm an all-in type person.
Yeah.
Like you, if I'm writing for God, I'm writing for God.
Yeah.
Like this a game, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You getting jumped in, bro. We beating you with Bibles.
Oh, man, I don't know if that's maybe that road I would be in prison, but
Yeah.
it's like I'm all in.
For sure.
This is my livelihood, this is my life, this is my how do you say it? This is my salvation.
Yeah.
So I don't take it lightly. I appreciate what Jesus did for me, and I'm gonna live it out like I appreciate it.
Yeah. Dylan and I talked about that, and I broke it down in the last episode of like just Jesus getting whipped and then, carrying a cross with the splinters all in his back and like his flesh just being open. And like when we talk about appreciating what Jesus did, like it's such a big thing that a lot of times is looked over, and because of how gory it was and how nasty and sad and painful it was, a lot of people just kind of shade over it and just imagine him on the cross. And so when we really sit there and think about what Jesus went through for us, bro, it's like, to me, it's hard to fathom how I can not give my life to this man, to this God. And so yeah, when you break it down like that, it makes you more appreciative, but it makes it so much more easier. Not that it's easy, but easier to give your life to God. And so one of the questions I was going to ask is, when did you said you grew up kind of going to church with your stepdad, but you weren't you weren't all in. When did you get all in? What changed for you?
What changed for me was, man, I think I had gotten to a point where I didn't have nothing worked. There's that, like I said, you try to look for comfort in things that bring you comfort, or you're high for a little bit, and then it's gone, and then you're back to whatever you started off with, picking up those pieces of maybe from a traumatic childhood, maybe from a broken relationship, maybe from things you're dealing with that happened recently. Um, and the only thing that took me out of that was Jesus,
Hmm.
right? Uh, and that joy that is unshakable is it talks about it in Matthew. Fortunate for those, fortunate for those, fortunate for those, and it breaks down different people. Like fortunate for those, the kingdom of heaven. Fortunate for those, And
Yeah.
I think I started seeing that.
Yeah.
No matter what I'm going through, fortunate for me
Yeah.
that I have my Father to look forward to.
100%.
And nothing else is gonna give you that, bro.
Yeah,
No
1000%.
drugs, no other person on this earth, nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
That's real. All right. Let's talk about prison.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. So, what age, if you could tell viewers, like, what age did you go in? And let's get into that, like, for
Okay,
that
so
next
I went in when I was 27 years old.
And right now you're
35.
35.
Right. I went in when I was 27, got out when I was 30. Um, and man, you want me to just break it down how when I walked up in there and
Yeah, I mean,
all right, so okay. This is
as long as it doesn't trigger anything.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
Get off me. That's crazy. Maybe cut that out. Cut that out. No, I'm just kidding. So I walk up in this.
My bad, bro. Oh
I
man.
wasn't fighting for my cheeks, all right?
Yeah. Nah. Yeah, I definitely believe you.
All right, so I go to this place, bro. And I walk in there, and it's like a big warehouse, bro. This place, it's called Geo. It's right off the border, Laredo, Texas. You walk in there, and there's different. I get arrested for conspiracy to transport and what is it? Conspiracy to transport and move illegal aliens inside of the U.S. So that was one thing. We were moving like 20 at a time of illegal aliens.
Yeah.
I was making a lot of money, and it was, of course, it's the wrong way.
Yeah,
It's gonna catch up to you.
for sure.
I don't care what you're doing, bro. How long you're doing it, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna get in trouble, bro. It's not. So I get caught up. I go to prison. This is a holding detention facility that you first go to before you get sentenced. So I go in there, and it's like these big warehouse looking rooms, bro, that are just bunks. I'm talking 80 beds, 40 bunks stacked. You got two TVs, and then you got these steel tables right here, but it's all one room. Then you got the showers over here with like a half wall. You get to see you shower, and we got toilets right there. So I walk in there, bro, and this dude comes up to me, and he tells me in Spanish, he's like, "Who do you run with?" And I'm like, "To me,
Yeah.
it's like, well, who do you run with? Like, are you part of any gang or?" And I was like, "Nah, I ain't part of nothing. Like, and he's like, "Oh, okay, so you're Solano." And I was like, I guess. Is that a gang? I don't know. Was I a part of that? So he's like, so what that means is you're not associated with anybody. You're
Okay.
just in this sort of stuff, right? So he's like, okay, but then he started breaking it down. He started breaking it down for me. He's like, look, this is this group. This is the group I'm a part of. This is in that pod, there was like 3-4 different groups.
Yeah.
Right? You had people from Mexico, a group called the Bisons. You had a other group called Tango, which is it's supposed to stand for Together Against Negative Gang Organizations, right? But it kind of gets like it is a gang, so how is it? I don't understand that, right? Kind of weird, but the thing is, it's against other gangs that are like family style gangs, so like Mexican mafia, like so you're not in there getting bullied, you're not in there getting ran for your commissary or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's organized. The way it was set up was you go in there, you join this group so that you can safely do your time and get back home to your family without any problems, right? So these like that's the group that we're a part of. You know, you could be a part of anything you want to, or you can outrun with somebody at all, whatever. So some time went by, and I started. It was like when I was out there making money, it was I could do anything I wanted. It felt like, right? I could go buy whatever I wanted. I could go do whatever I wanted. I had foreign cars. I had the mother of my child. I had a different relationship. I had, you know what I mean? I could do. I had felt like I had the power to do whatever I wanted to do, and then all of that was taken away. So now I'm in a place where I'm looking at time. I'm looking at I'm not allowed to talk to my daughter. They're not letting me talk to my daughter, the mother of my child. So I felt like I had lost everything. So as time went by, I decided to join a prison gang.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, if this is gonna be what it's gonna be, I don't know how much time we'll get. So is this gonna be my home? This is gonna be like my family in a sense. So
Yeah.
I did it, and I think I was one of those things where instead of using drugs and alcohol to numb the pain, I was using self-destruction. I was putting myself in situations where it was all bad. I was getting in fights. I was in this particular group. It's not like somebody orders you like, hey, go do that. You don't have a leader. It's like a vote. You can volunteer to do things. And I was always volunteering to do stuff. Like I was just out there. Tattoos. I was just getting tattoos left and right. Most of my tattoos are from prison and they are gang affiliated. Um, and it's crazy because like I said, I was the last one that you would think of to go to prison in my friends group, and then I come out of prison looking like,
Yeah.
who's this guy?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that were a shock to me that happened behind prison walls that you wouldn't even know, like what that goes on back there. Man, I learned how to start a fire with a battery. I learned how to make hooch. I learned how to all these different things, and we're just like tattoo ink out of petroleum jelly.
Yeah.
Like like
That is crazy.
yeah, making a tattoo machine out of a beard trimmer. Bro, there's just all sorts of things that you're like you wouldn't even know until you're actually in the position.
I feel like you could make like a YouTube series of things that you could do, survival things that you could do
Right.
that you learned while in prison.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I can.
I'll let you tattoo.
Flying God.
I'll let you tattoo a cross on me.
Oh man, that'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy, right?
With get infected.
It's all green. That's crazy though, bro. That's so that's the gang that you joined was the Tongo, is that how you say it? So TAN TANGO. Okay, and it was what does it stand for?
Texas. It's Texas Against Negative Gang Organization. So it's a Texas thing.
Okay.
So you have different Tongo groups. So you have San Antonio, which is Orojones. You have Laredo, which is Tongo Laredo. You have Bayucos, Tongo Bayucos, which are from the valley.
Yeah.
In that area. You have Tongo Blast, which is Fort Worth, Houston, Corpus, and Austin. And
So it's big.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you have there's a Fort Worth one that's by itself. There's West Texas Tongo. There's Aguilons, which are Eagle Pass.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah.
all these different cars, but when we're on a yard together, we're all together like if something happened.
Okay.
Right. And one of the so I went to the whole just to the detention center. I was there for a year before I got sentenced.
Yeah.
I went to the whole like 4 different times.
The whole is like you're by yourself.
The hole is a jail inside a jail.
Yeah.
My mom, like when I told her, like, hey, I wrote her, I'm like, hey, I'm in the hole. She like wrote back, like, I don't understand how you're in jail, in trouble.
Yeah.
Like I thought that's the farthest you can get is getting locked up, like after you, and the way I describe it is it's a prison inside of a prison. You're in an 8x10 room, bro, with just a bed, a sink, and a toilet. And you get showers probably like twice a week. You don't get no commissary.
That was wild.
You're in there 24 hours. Or some I've been to the hole in every institute I've been in. I'll put it to you.
Good. Was it for Going to the hole, was it for like fighting or getting in trouble or
So one was for fighting. Um, I think we were drunk off hooch, and we got into a fight.
was the hooch good?
Eh,
Or it just does the
for
job?
the area you're in free where you're at, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like, what are you
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like, it's real sweet because you have to use a lot of sugar in the fermentation process and stuff. But there's some other stuff they make. It's called white lightning.
Do you miss it?
Nah,
Alright, good. I just mess with you, bro. I just mess with you.
it caused me to realize for I'm just kidding. No, so then what was that?
My bad. The hole.
Right. 23 hours a day, showers twice a week. Um, and yeah, bro, it was fighting. Another one was for there was two for fighting, and then one was for they pulled me out and drug tested me because we were getting stuff in there inside of prison.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some stuff, it's like synthetic weed that they spray on cards. That you can get, that people were getting sets in. So I was one of the people that they suspected of getting it. So they would drug test me. And that doesn't come out on a drug test. But I was getting somebody else's pills, some pills, and they were getting I think trazodone or something like that, or some kind of pill like that. So methadone popped up in my drug test.
Yeah.
So bam, I went to the hole for that. And
And is it one time? It's 23 hours, and then you're done, or like it's all week, or like a month, 30 days?
But see, this is the thing. Like, I had gotten to a point where it's 30 days, and then
I just
I get transferred to a step down program, which is like there's these tiers, right? There's like upstairs and downstairs, and like the people at the top tier just got into the step down program, and they're not allowed a lot of time out into the day room. Then you got people that have been there for like a week or something. They're allowed a little more time. They like wing you off of being in the hole.
Yeah.
Right. But when I went into the step down program the last time I was in there, I am now with Mexican Mafia and my group and Sureños. Um, and the reason why the Mexican Mafia don't leave the shoe there is because they don't get along with the paisas. They'll kill each other. So they have to be segregated. And when I get in there, there was an issue. We have prison's real segregated in a sense. So you have a black table, white table, Mexican table, my group table, this table, right? And it's different. It's real structured that way. And so we have our table, and we got word somebody was kind of coming from the hole to the step down program that was from a different race, that they were like, well, he has to sit at y'all's table, right? And we're like, no, it wasn't that we had a problem with him sitting at our table. It was
The fact that they told you.
you're saying that, hey, you're telling me what I'm gonna do with my table.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what the whole my group was all about, was you're not gonna bully us into anything.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Like, whether you're whoever you are, you're not gonna say anything to us like that. So we're like, no, he's not. So it became an issue. We go into, it wasn't resolved, and he was gonna come in the next morning. And it was kind of a little tense before we went to our cells for lockup. We go to lockup at 9. We go to lockup at 9. And when we went back into our cells, there's a Sureño next to me in his cell. And this was my first instance of real kind of fear in prison. Up until that point, it was a lot of not really serious, you know, getting drunk. It was like a college, you know, at that point. And then I hear like sharpening of something on the floor. And at first it registers, and they're like, man, what is that? So I put my ear, and I'm like, this dude sharpening his shank on the floor. I'm like, yo. At that point, I couldn't really sleep that night, thinking like, okay.
Your anxiety's up. Did you think it was for you?
I don't know.
You just didn't know. Yeah.
But it wasn't that we had those things. We had shanks and stuff. When I went into the step down program, people in my group were already there, and they had those things, but it was never like, I don't know why, it just never crossed my mind that we were gonna have to use them there, right? Like we're in a shoe in a hole kind of a situation. And but then to hear someone else sharpening, and it could potentially be for you,
Yeah.
it's a different feeling, bro.
Yeah.
So the doors unlocked the next morning, and I'm at the door, and I'm like, man, I don't know, I'm gonna have to fight for my life right now or something.
Yeah.
But this guy comes and he goes right past me, and I'm like, shoot.
Yeah.
So then I go downstairs, and there's already groups. That's how you know. I think I talked to you about this. This is how you know in prison something's happening. It gets dead quiet. Like, it's different from being out here. You know, there's chaos, people screaming.
Yeah.
Like, oh, something's going down. Bro, I could be in my cell, in my locker, and it's crazy how you could hear silence. It's not even a noise, but your
deafening.
senses are just like,
For sure.
Yeah.
oh yeah, something's about to go down.
Yeah.
And then you open up your cell and you look in the day room, and sure enough, there's this group of people in a group, and then they're talking amongst each other, like,
Yeah.
discussing what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And
It's a ticking time bomb.
that was my introduction to danger, like a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Bro. And I think it's at that point where it was like, okay, this is serious. We're not, I'm gonna go into, once I get sentenced, I'm gonna go into an actual prison, and it might be something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anything happen from that moment? Like when he was.
Okay, so we get down there, people are in groups. We're in my group talking like, okay, we're not gonna give this to receipts. We're probably gonna have to go hard with this other group because they're trying to bully us into this. And I'm like, okay. So then the guy comes in, and we lace him up, and we're like,
Lace him up.
lace him up, and it was like we kind of tell him like, hey, we explained to him the situation where how he's not gonna sit at our table. Pretty much.
I was thinking you were tying his shoes.
No,
I was like, oh, like, was that the big boss or something? Like.
so then we're telling him like, hey, you're not gonna sit at our table, and the other group's like, you're not gonna sit at our table. And this dude, I felt bad that there's chairs for the phone.
Yeah.
Phone, and this dude just sat there and ate his tray, sitting there. And it was one of those things where also I was introduced to segregation.
Yeah.
And how things are, and it was something where I expressed it to the group. I'm like, man, that's kind of messed up. And they're just like, yeah, but that's the way it is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. That kind of messed me up too, because I was like, there was another time further along, where, well, let's go through this, right? I get sentenced. I didn't know what kind of time I was looking at, and they sentenced me to 33 months. So that's around 3 years. So I was already there for a year, so I had another 2 years to go.
Were you expecting more than that, or were you like relieved at that, or was that?
Well, at first, it's crazy because when they were driving me into Laredo, I was with investigators.
Okay.
And they were kind of interrogating me like, well, who else do you work with?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't work with anybody.
Yeah.
But the reason why a conspiracy is where there's different people involved.
For sure.
They couldn't tie me to anybody, but the reason why it was a conspiracy is because some of the immigrants said that it was me, and then they were at a different house, and then they were at a different house. So there's more people involved.
Yeah.
But it takes me saying like, yeah, that person.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So by me not doing that, it was just like, okay, well, it's still a conspiracy, but it's only me on the case. So I was the only one on my indictment. But when I was on my way into Laredo, they're like telling me like, you're gonna get like 5 years for each person that
They're trying to freak you out.
Where it was like 20, I think it was like 20
dang.
people. So I was already thinking like, dang, it's 100 years.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. So I was already losing my mind at that point. And I just, all right. Well, they dropped me out of Webb County, and they're like, all right, well, if you want to say anything, here's my card.
Yeah.
Just left that how it was. So I get sentenced, bro. And I start off by going to a low security prison, which I should have just, now looking back, I should have minded my business stayed with nobody.
Yeah.
If I would have went into that low security prison, it would have been fine. Like
Yeah.
I would have just been living. It was in Bastrop, Texas.
Okay.
I was there with Sam Hurd.
Yeah.
I was playing golf with Sam Hurd over there. They had an indoor gym. It was like they had weights, bro. Like
Yeah.
I was like, what was I thinking, right? But I was already in, so it's like whatever. Then so there a person that says they were in our group shows up to the prison, says that he's like we check his paperwork. Turns out he was a sex offender.
Mm.
So now I'm in a situation where we gotta drop this guy, and drop this guy's like beat him up and
Drama.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. So of course I volunteer. Idiot. Beat up this guy on the yard. I go to the hole, and there's these points that it goes off of, bro. Like you're in a low security from this point to these point system,
Mm.
but once you go over that, now you're going to a medium security.
Mm.
So that situation got me to medium custody level, and I go to the hole for 30 days. Then they transfer me out of state to Louisiana, and I'm like, oh man, like this is different.
Was that a culture shock?
Well, you see, in the federal prison, it's a lot of everywhere.
Okay.
Like people are from everywhere,
Yeah.
bro. You got people
I like the military.
yeah, kind of. And then so we go there, bro. Or I go there, not we, because I'm by myself. And I get in contact with a group of people that I'm involved with, and then like you get there. And it's the same thing everywhere. It's like, who do you roll with? Where are you coming from? Let me see your paperwork. That's the thing. It's like, we need to see your paperwork. We need to see it's called a PSI. What a PSI is it's a breakdown of everything from when you got arrested. If you talk to an investigator, it's going to say what you said on there.
Mm.
It's going to say, if you snitched on somebody, it's going to be there.
Oh, damn.
It's going to be like, this person said that.
So other inmates are asking for this.
Right. So, and what you do is you have a family member on the outside send your paperwork to one of your people's family members, and then they get on the phone and they're like,
They vouch.
yeah,
Yeah.
hey, this guy's good. Okay, cool.
He didn't snitch. He's not a sex offender or stuff like that.
So you get in there, and that's established first. You get care packages, like here's shower shoes, here's this, what do you need this? And then there's something called a heart check.
Heart or hard?
Heart. Like it's called a Gora check. And it's either 2 or 3 people against you when you first get to a yard, and you fight 2 people at one time.
Yeah.
And it's like goes on for like
They just want to see like if you like lay down and give up or if you actually
right
tough it out.
So, I was involved in a few of those, and I was involved in giving a few of those, and so that's a thing. And then
Do you go to the hole every single time?
no.
Okay.
It's like you have somebody looking out for you.
Yeah.
Or jail cell. Somebody's looking out for you.
So it's like when we were in high school with 10 seconds, you got those people looking out for the teachers that are coming.
Right.
Yeah.
More so like jumping somebody.
Yeah.
And then so that happens, and then you're just there. But the thing about this is that it's a medium security yard now. I'm out of state, and man, the things that were starting to go on at this yard were different. You have lockdowns more often because situations can get out of hand fast. I was almost in a riot over a TV, bro.
Mm.
I remember you telling me that, bro.
Yeah, we are literally on the yard. It's like brown, white, and it's like about to, like, I've never seen so many people in one place like that. About to be in a fight. Like, what is going on, right? So I've seen somebody with a knife sticking out of their chest at one point.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody get beat to death on the yard. And this is the crazy part, is that person, there's a thing called checking in. Like, and what it is say if you owe money and you go and you check in, or like it's like you don't have the money to pay that, but you don't want to get dropped. So you go and you tell the CO, like, hey, I need to get out of here. Like, there's people after me.
Yeah.
And that's called checking in. The guy that I talked about that got beat to death, the reason I brought up checking in was because he had checked in he was a part of a group, not our group, but he had checked in for. He wanted to be a Christian, and he went about it the wrong way. Like he could have just, he should have just told people like, "Hey, I want to be a Christian," and whatever happened would have happened.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been as bad as what happened to him. But he, instead of doing that, he checked in, but they let him back off to the yard
Mm-hmm.
30 days later, and his people weren't having whatever he was saying.
They're waiting.
I was gonna ask. You said it was like super segregated. Whites, blacks, Hispanics, whatever. Was there a group or like a table of Christians where you had,
Yeah, there was.
and it was like a white dude, a black dude, a Hispanic dude? Okay, so
Yeah.
it could happen, and they just knew that was like I guess the Christian table or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. And I think it's there's that. And then there's also sometimes you're on state time, like you have Texas blacks, or you're on gang time.
Mm.
And what that is like Crips, Bloods, they're all in one car. Or at least where I was at, they're all in one car and they're all at gang time. But those could sometimes be, there could be a white guy in there. There could be, sometimes there's a white guy in the black car.
Yeah,
And
me. Just kidding, bro.
So it's not abnormal to see that. Sometimes it's rare, but you do see it sometimes. And but yeah, bro, there's a Christian group, and I was starting to gravitate towards that. And I'm gonna talk now about what we talked about last night, which is interesting.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a part of prison for some people, not for me. I never did nothing like this.
Sure.
But
but literally, but
so I'm in a cell with this older cat. He's in my group. You usually get celled up with somebody in your group. You have certain cells that are like, this is our cell, that's our cell.
Yeah.
That's our cell. It's crazy how some stuff the prisoners run in prison. So I'm in a cell with an older cat in my group, and man, this he's funny, bro. He's a real talker. He just talks has a lot of energy. He works out a lot too. He's a short guy, and he would slang in there. And there's stuff called K2, which is synthetic weed, tobacco, Suboxone, which is like synthetic heroin. And he would slang it in there. And we had a little hole in our cell behind the locker where he would put stuff in. Or under the locker, he would put stuff in. Well, me and him got into something. And he was an older cat. I respected him, and I didn't want it to get to a point where I had to beat this old guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, man, I'm gonna get out of here. He's stuck in his way of doing things and how he wants things, and I'm gonna go with somebody like more my age where I could get along. There was another cat that was in our group that I moved into his cell. What happened was, I told the CO, hey, is it cool if I move in there? He said, yeah, that's cool. Just talk to your counselor. I'm gonna put it down on the paper because they have count time to make sure where we're at. I'm gonna put it down on the log, but get with your counselor to switch the cell in the system. I'm like, all right, cool. So whenever check time come around, it was fine because I was in the log, but in the system I was still in the other cell. So something happened and he got caught up, and I guess they found his stuff. Well, I'm in my other cell, and they come in, and they grab me. And I'm like,
bro.
Because you're so tied to it.
Because I'm still tied to it in the system.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, what a whole. That was for something I really didn't do.
Yeah.
Say, how am I explain that, right? I'm a prisoner. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's not mine.
So
like they haven't heard
they
that.
take me to the hole, and they put me in the same cell with him. Because then sometimes in the hole, whenever you're in these other prisons, they have where you're with somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's 2 people, 23 hours a day, just breakfast, lunch, dinner, and that's it. So they put me in a cell with him, and he's like, hey, Sally, keep a lookout for me. And I'm like,
yeah.
What you mean? He's like, I gotta get something out.
Oh, nah, bro.
I said, oh, Sally, you kidding me? For real, you're kidding, right? He's like, no, I'm serious. Man, this man smuggled in tobacco.
Do it, yeah.
Yeah, bro. They call it a prison pocket.
Oh my God, bro. Did you smoke it with him?
No, bro, no, I did. But this is the thing. This is the thing too. I was like, hey, this guy did that
Oh, bro.
in the shoe. Now let me put you on another something. In the shoe, there's this thing called lines
Yeah.
or fishing. You put something heavy. Okay, so when you're in the shoe, you get these how you get milk or how you get juice is in pouches, bro.
Yeah.
In what is it, like plastic?
Like Capri Sun type thing?
No,
Almost?
just clear plastic.
Oh, dang.
And you just gotta bite it open and drink it.
Yeah.
Like that. Literally just like no label, nothing.
Yeah.
And then just pass it out like that. Like so you get these things, you cut it into pieces, and you make a string out of it. You put something heavy at the end, and there's a thing under the door. It's like this big, bro. And you're sliding it to other cells.
Oh, dang.
You're putting things attached to
Yeah.
notes. This. So my celly has tobacco. Now you got all these lines coming, and he's putting tobacco, sending it to this cell, this cell. We're getting. He's like, hey, Sally, you want another breakfast tray? You want this? You want that? And we're getting stuff. People are telling us, hey, I got, or they're sending us kites. Hey, I got this. I could give you a radio, a watt, this. And so I come out, and I have, there's these, they pay in stamps in there. Stamps is money.
Yeah.
Each stamps is a certain thing. A book is like $8, a full book of stamps. So it's like money in there, like dollars. Then you have individual stamps are a little less because you're breaking up the book, but you have little stacks of stamps. So people are sending us stamps, sending us books for this tobacco, right? So I'm getting out of the hole earlier, and he's like, here, take these out with you. Bro, I have all these books of stamps, like in between book, like inside of books and stuff, bro. And they didn't find them, and I get out with all these stamps, bro. And I'm just thinking, like, man, I hope you don't come out.
Yeah.
He's on messed up, right? But now he comes out, and I have his stamps, but yeah, that was the first prison pocket
That is wild, bro.
ever witnessed, bro.
What's and this is just going back to faith and stuff. Was there a moment in prison? I know there was a lot of fights. You talked about shanks. You talked about all that. Was there a moment where you were like, I'm not gonna make it out of here alive?
Yes, and I almost did it. So I got into an altercation.
This is in Texas or in Louisiana?
In Louisiana.
Louisiana.
2 months before I get out, I want to say 2.5. I get into an altercation. We go back to they didn't find out about it. Sometimes when you're gonna fight certain people, there's certain groups that will go one-on-one with you, but there's certain groups that there's no one-on-one. It's if you get a fight with one of ours, we're all jumping in.
Yeah.
Going hard. This was a one-on-one incident, so we go to a cell, somebody's looking out, we do what we gotta do, we have a problem with somebody, and that's it. But that happened. Then we get into lockup at like 9 p.m. I go into my cell. I remember eating an apple, bro, and drinking something, a mix, like they have these little pouches of kind of like Splenda, or right, that you mix with water. And I drank that, and I lay down, and I remember feeling full in my stomach. And I'm like, I go throw up, and it's blood. Oh, it's just blood, bro. And I'm like, what's going on? So there's a button in each people's room. And we were, like, our group is like, you don't hit that button unless you're dying.
Yeah.
Like, that button is to check out. Like, it's like, hey, come get me, I'm in trouble. Like, you don't do that, right? It's a no-no. But I was throwing up blood, so I hit him. I'm like, yo, I'm throwing up blood. I need to go see a nurse. So he leaves. And he doesn't come back for a while. I'm like, what the heck? So then I throw up again, blood. I'm like, yo, what is going on? I hit him. I'm like, yo, I leave it there at that point. I'm like, yo, look, I need to go see a nurse. Check it out. He's like, all right. So he takes me out. They transfer me to the nurse, and they poke my finger to check my hypoglycemic level. I think it is. That's how they check your blood count. Well, the way that works is it takes a certain amount of time if you poke someone's finger to tell if they've lost blood. So like if it just happened, you just started throwing up blood, or you just lost blood, it's not gonna show right away.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, you're fine. I think your normal blood count's around 12 or something like that, 12.5. I think it was at 12 when I went in there. So I'm like, whatever. So I go back, and then again, throw up like twice. And I'm like, yo, I gotta go. And I'm grateful that this dude, because bro, there have been times where like I ate some peanut butter, and I'm not even allergic to peanuts, and I broke out in highs. And I'm like, bro, I'm like red everywhere. He's like, well, bro, you're standing up and you're talking to me, so you're fine. And I'm like, I'm grateful that this dude really like took me out again. So I go back again. At this time, they check me and they're like, all right, you got to go to the emergency room. Like you've lost blood. So the ambulance comes. I'm shackled on my hand to the gurney, my leg, my arm. Two officers are with me inside the ambulance. They transport me to the hospital. They check to see. Turns out blunt force trauma caused a tear somewhere in my esophagus.
Gosh.
And I go, and he's like, okay, we're gonna have to do surgery on you tomorrow. Like, all right, cool. But through that time, I'm still throwing up blood every now and then, like throwing up blood. And I remember the last time I was throwing up, bro, and I look up, and this is like a Santa Rosa hospital over there. That's how it's trained. It's one of those. So they have Jesus on a cross, but his hand, instead of being on the cross, they're like up like this. So I'm throwing up, and I look up and I see that, and I'm like, I feel like he was like, I told you, like I was in a point where I was gravitating more towards the Christian group, and I wanted to do that, but also I was attached to this group.
You weren't letting it go.
See, yeah, I wasn't letting that go. And I was going to Bible studies and talking to the Christian group, right? And I feel like he was like, this is where this goes.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just like, man, and then my stomach started hurting at that point, and I had to go to the restroom. So I had to go. They uncuffed me, walked me to the restroom in the room. I go to the restroom, and when I come out, I just remember taking a step, and then I hit the ground. And then all I remember is nurses, the CO. They put me on a sheet, and I just remember getting carried by the sheet and thrown on the bed.
Oh wow.
Like a baby or something, like
Yeah.
and I'm just like, what's going on? And I remember like there was a big CO. I was always knock off to him, like we always joke around, and I'm like, bro, you're not that strong, bro. I feel swole. And then so at that point they checked my blood levels, and I had to go into emergency surgery. It was really low. So I go into surgery. They fix whatever they put me to sleep. They put something down through my gut and fix whatever they do. Then I get a blood transfusion, so I get blood put back into my body, and then I come out of that, and I was still bleeding. I was like, yo, I had to go to another surgery, so I had to go through 2 emergency surgeries, 2 blood transfusions, and when I got released back onto the yard a few weeks, like almost a month later, I was very skinny, bro. It's like taking I was still low on blood. They give you just the right amount of blood so your body could produce blood and you could get back out there. But man, taking hot showers was I would get weak taking hot showers. Walking upstairs was a task for me. And it was at that point where I started taking things like God, or taking God serious. Not things like God, because God was not a thing, but taking God serious.
So that's the moment that was your line in the sand.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you say to someone, because you've done it all, bro? Like, you talked about drugs and alcohol, you talked about prison, you talked about going through this moment. What would you tell somebody that thinks that they're just too far down the wrong path, that they think that God's already turned their back on them? What would you tell an individual like that?
That you're never too far gone. That and I think that, like I talked about it before, is God put me through those situations to see that nobody can be too far gone for him to bring them out of whatever situation they're in. And man, I mean it when I say like there's certain things that pop into my mind, like conversations I used to have, and looking back at it, like I sound so dumb. And these are things like right before I was saved. And like, how did I think that was cool?
Mm.
How were those conversations had? But then it gives me the ability to show people grace when I hear things that sound dumb.
Yeah.
And and like people would probably hear somebody like that and be like, that guy's dumb. He's never gonna amount to anything. Like how, like look what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Like look at how he sounds. Now it's like I hear people like that and I know God's never too far away.
Yeah.
I know that they're never too far gone because those dumb things that I hear them say, I was the one saying it.
Yeah.
And now I'm having actual conversations, spiritual growth is happening. I'm having mature adult conversations, right? Instead of having like sounding like a kid.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is-
I know exactly what you're talking
Hey,
about.
let me ask you, bro. Was it, especially after hearing your story? By the way, I appreciate you sharing. Yeah, yeah, vulnerable and everything. But what was harder for you? Being locked up or being free with no purpose? What would you say?
I think being free with no purpose was harder. Because you have that choice, bro.
Yeah.
Like we don't understand that. I think a lot of times we're just so caught up in the what's going on around us, physically, that we are broken spiritually. And that's the thing, is you could have everything and have nothing at the same time. bro.
Yeah.
And that's crazy how a lot of people they know things, but they don't know him. And I think that's a real misconception, is you can know everything about God, but not know him at all.
Yeah.
And that's where, knowledge is not the same thing as having a relationship with
That's
him,
real.
right? And that's something I really have grown into and had to understand too, is I don't care. Now it's to the point where I can have nothing, but I still have everything.
I love
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And do you think God, kind of like breaks us down to rebuild them kind of thing? Or do you think we break ourselves?
Okay, yeah, I like
That's a really good.
that. Yeah, that is a good question. I think you got to look at the situation and take every situation for what it is, right? If you don't have any control over situation, if of the situation, then I would say probably God is allowing you to be broken down because you don't have any control.
Yeah.
But now if you chose to do something bad and it was from your actions and bad decisions that got you to a season of brokenness,
Yeah.
then it was yourself that did that.
Fact.
Now, God can still use that
Yeah. Come on.
and make your broken pieces into a masterpiece.
Come on.
Yeah.
But sometimes we give credit to God when we put ourselves through certain seasons. We're like, well, God's putting me through this. It's like, no, when you don't have accountability, you can't have correction.
Come on.
So you need to have some kind of accountability when it comes to those kind of decisions so then you can grow
That's
spiritually.
That's fire. And real quick, James, what I do want to mention.
Yeah. Hurry up.
For the
Because I got like 3 questions I need to ask.
Though, for the viewers out there, right? Check out this YouTube. This is my man's YouTube right here. We're gonna put that link right here.
Come on.
Right. You need to check that out because he's spitting hot fire. But let's continue these questions. James, go ahead. He's about to say something.
No, I'm not. So it's a 2-parter. It's a 3-parter. So my first one is, what Bible verse do you lean on? And this is to somebody that might not be familiar with the Bible, but what Bible verse or verses do you lean on in your darkest moments? Like, what's one that comes to mind that somebody can look up?
I think that my go-to, and it's gonna be different for different people. I feel like whatever you're struggling with the most, you should have a Bible verse that you could use in those times of need.
Yeah.
Of struggle.
Yeah.
But mine is James 1:19, which is be slow to speak, slow to anger, or slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to anger, or slow to wrath. And those are the things I kind of struggle with.
Yeah.
I get frustrated easily with the people closest around me, which is crazy. You know, a lot of times we're more patient with random people on the street than our loved ones.
Yeah.
So I kind of try to stay grounded in that Bible verse to keep me grounded in that, to understand that, you know, our actions and our words can affect other people, right? Especially our kids. They're the ones that see our worst, our best. They see all of that. And what kind of follower of Christ would I be if I'm not modeling that to them?
Yeah.
Right. So that's one of the ones that I.
That's a good verse. And then Dylan talked about your YouTube channel.
Mhm.
So why did you start? It's Holy Conversations 316, right? 316.
Yes.
Okay. So why did you start the YouTube channel? And what do you want people to get away from it as they watch your videos? By the way, he's gotten like over 1,000 subscribers in the last 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's something crazy. So what he's doing obviously is for the kingdom, and but yeah, I want you to answer, like,
Okay.
why'd you start it and what do you want people to get away from it?
So before Holy Conversations, had this thing. I've always been I've had like an entrepreneur mindset, but it was for wrong things.
Yeah, sure.
So I think getting out of prison, I started a lawn business, and then I started something called the Network Club. And what my idea was I'm gonna market for different businesses. I'm gonna promote for different businesses. I'm gonna use QR codes, and I'm gonna put them on one sheet of paper. I'm gonna send them out. I'm gonna pass out these flyers. And that was my thing. And I wanted to make it a clothing brand as well. So from that, I feel like God used that idea I had, and he kind of started navigating me towards something different. And went from that. I had these business owners which were great. They had a lot of followers. They were good business owners that I would market for. But then I transitioned into a podcast, and it was in that season where I started learning how I could really communicate with people, right? And then it's in that season where I started growing spiritually, and it was like, how can I do this for the kingdom? What can I do to glorify God? So that's the thing, is as Christians, our purpose, our core purpose, is to glorify God in all that we do.
Yeah.
So how am I going to spread the word of God? How am I going to glorify Him in this thing that I feel like I'm pretty good at? And it's doing the content stuff. But it's that, but staying to authentic, like
Yeah.
podcast, right? It's
Yeah.
staying authentic to my purpose. And I think that's a lot of things that people fall away from, is they're not authentic, and they start to gravitate to what's trending. They start to gravitate to what's clickbait. They start to gravitate. And so the Network Club grew a pretty big following, and I tried to transition from that, but keep it the same thing, into my spiritual thing. And I didn't like the certain accounts I was following. It was just too many. It was a lot going on. So I dropped the Network Club,
Yeah.
and then I started Holy Conversations, with a different mindset. It wasn't marketing. It wasn't trying to get followers. It wasn't trying to get likes or validation from anybody. It was more to glorify God.
Yeah.
And I think that his Bible place has a lot to do with that. Is I grew a lot spiritually during that time where I joined the group. And if y'all don't know this, James started his Bible place last year around.
Yeah. Over a year ago.
Yeah, over a year ago. And it was at that time where I saw this online. I came and I was looking for a community, and I wasn't finding it anywhere, right? I wasn't finding a community anywhere. And when I got to this group, I felt like it was a place where I could be vulnerable. I could talk about things. I can, you know, we could sharpen each other here,
Yeah.
right? And it was something that I really grew into. And that was around the time where I dropped the Network Club and I started Holy Conversations. And it was really a ground level of starting something brand new. And I had Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. But it got to a certain point where I was like, I don't want to be on Instagram or TikTok, because it was more of a, I'm not only putting things out there, I'm consuming things.
Yeah.
Being on these platforms. YouTube, you don't get to see what people are doing. It's really only what you search.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it was a good place where I could keep to pump and dump, right?
Yeah.
To put out whatever I'm going to put out there and leave it alone. So I started at ground level, and I just do it to glorify God and stay grounded in that purpose, and try to, if there's anything that arises where I feel prideful, I try to kill that right away.
Yeah.
I try to put that to sleep because that is never a place I want to be at. I
Yeah.
just want to be glorifying God. And in that, I will be a good father. I will be a good husband because if you're glorifying God, all those things kind of fall.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Can it? No, I was just gonna say, yeah, when I met you, bro, from when you started coming to the Bible study, I immediately was like attracted, like not attracted, but attracted to you as a person, because of your testimony and your authenticity. And I was like, dude, this is a brother. Like, this is a brother of mine. And yeah, bro, like the fact that you started coming was life changing for me because it was something that I needed. Like, I needed a brother in Christ, especially being new to the faith. So yeah, bro, I could not be happier that I met you. And yeah, it's all God, bro. His timing is crazy, but you can't really be surprised by it because it's always good, you know? It's always good.
Yeah. It's crazy that we're sitting here, man, because like 2 decades ago, man, even speaking on that, man, like when we first met, like you from the first app up, bro, you've always had a genuine heart, at least with me. Like, what I'm saying, I've never, even from the last time that I saw you, or look,
Yeah.
going through all.
Well, you were when I met you, we were on I got a basketball team, and you were a year. How old are you, dude?
32.
32. So I'm 35. So you were playing with older kids, but your skill level was there, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this little kid,
Yeah, like
he thinks he's good. And then but then like, you don't. A lot of people there, they enjoy basketball. Their parents put them in it, but I think it was something more, right? You got
He was nice.
yeah, you were nice with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll beat him now, but he was nice.
Whether I would have went through what I went through or I did it,
Yeah.
I still would have been here with you guys.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to happen because if it wasn't drugs or alcohol, it would have been basketball.
1,000%,
Yeah.
1,000%. We can still get on the hoops, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's go.
speaking
Nowadays I have a hard time.
I was gonna say,
Socks, brother. You throw on my back, but
speaking of hoops, man, we have a segment called 10 seconds where we jump you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We have a segment.
do that. I'm kind of skilled.
I'm kind of scared. Oh, bro, we have a segment called Shoot the Shot where we ask 6 questions. Between Dylan and I, both 3 questions each. You got to answer them as fast as you can, but you answer them as you're shooting. So, are you ready for Shoot the Shot?
We're gonna edit it where I make all of them, or we're gonna.
Hey, Trent on one episode made like 13 in a row, bro.
Oh man, that
So-
guy's he's an outdoor.
Yeah,
Overachiever.
yeah. He
Watching this, I just can't stand. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. All right, here we go. Welcome to Shoot the Shot. First question. What are your top 3 Christian hip hop artists in San Antonio right now?
Oh, we got Serve Yahweh, Kevon, and Jahil.
Ooh, that's nice. Okay. Jesus walks into your crib right now.
Jesus walks.
What's he calling you out on first?
He's calling me out on screaming at the kids.
I like it.
That's it?
I think that's it, bro.
All
That's the really only problem I have. Probably, he probably sees everything I'm thinking, so.
Hey, don't put that.
Yeah, bro, it's bad. It's bad sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I want to throw things.
All of us.
It's a frustration thing, really. You know what I mean? So,
There
yeah.
you go. All right. What is one thing that you wish more men were honest about?
Pornography.
That's a big one. Okay. Who gets into heaven first? A humble atheist or a prideful preacher?
Well, to get into heaven, it's really that you need to have faith in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's what it comes down to. And I think only God knows their heart. So even if it's a prideful preacher, if he accepted Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, he's going to get in. Now, if it's an atheist, he don't even believe. So it's kind of hit right there.
There it is. My last question is every Christian influencer really helping the kingdom?
Oh, that's a good one, bro. No, they're not. You know, going back to the pride question, but that's not for us to decipher it. I think there's some people out there that are reaching for certain areas and they're feeding idolatry with God.
Yeah.
You can know God, or you could do things with God, but you're not doing things for God. And I think nowadays you see that a lot.
Yeah.
Is a lot of people are doing things with God in the content, but not for God.
Okay.
Facts. All right, bro. We're gonna end on this here. You get 5 minutes with your old self. What's the first thing that you would say to him?
Don't drown, turn around.
Ooh, I like that.
To
Don't drown, turn around is
That's deep.
That's just to, you know, stay humble. Materialism is one big thing that I kind of at an early age was a thing for me. So to understand that less is more in the kingdom of God, and to want to grow more spiritually and get in tune with your spiritual side instead of the materialism and everything that's around you.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Holy Conversations, my boy Kenneth Ortiz. Bam, 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 bam. Appreciate y'all, man.
The Authentic
Yeah,
Podcast.
much love, bro.
And it's always love.
Yes, sir.